The following is a special presentation of Tony Curry Radio.
Welcome back to the UAB Director's Chair. He's the athletic director for your UAB Blazers. I think you were going to a wedding last week, and this week you're in the car again. You're always heading somewhere, man. I mean,
I'm on the move, Tony. I'm on the move. Yeah, we got stuff to do, man.
I know. Yeah, well, you got to try to wrap things up before college football season starts, which is going to be starting here in very, very soon. What, 14, 15, 16 days? So we're getting after it.
We're almost 2 weeks of practice now, and team's looking good, and all is well, my brother. We're ready to play. I can tell you that.
There you go. I want to talk about FanFest real quick. I know you got that coming up.
Yeah.
So talk about that, and then I'm just going to kind of throw out some different things going on in college football. It's been a strange off season this year, but I just want to throw a couple of topics out there, and I want you to comment on them. So tell me about FanFest first.
Yeah, 10 a.m. on Saturday, we're going to have our soccer team, our volleyball team, and our football team at our football practice facility under the pavilion. So rain or shine, we'll have it. But we've got inflatables and food trucks, and all the teams will be there taking pictures and signing autographs. You can meet the coaches. It's a lot of fun. We've done it now. This will be the third year, and there's always a great turnout. It's a ton of fun, and it's really great for parents and grandparents to bring kids and grandkids who can just like run around. It's funny to watch. I don't know what it is about artificial turf, but particularly when it's not hot out, kids just like running around on it. And a lot of sweaty little kids running around on Saturday, but 10 to 12 on Saturday, the weather right now is spectacular. It's cooled off 20 degrees over the last week. When we planned it, we were really trying to be conscious of the heat. So should be really a lot of fun.
No, it's been a fantastic week of weather, so we'll take that in just a touch of fall. I actually saw some leaves come off some trees today, which was really, really good. So I was getting ready for the show today, and I wanted to I just started thinking about things around college football and just started writing things down that came to mind going into the season. I can't remember. I've been doing sports radio for 30-something years. I can't remember an off season like we've had with college football ever. Like this. I say that every year, and every year, when we're doing shows and things like that, we're always trying to come up with topics, and so we're always trying to create storylines. But I really believe it's been one of the strangest off seasons. And of course, if you listen to the UAB Director's Chair, you've learned about the House versus NCAA thing, and that certainly took up a lot of our time during the off season. But before I throw out some of the things that just kind of popped into my brain, when you think about college football going into 2025/26, what are some things that kind of pop into your head as an athletic director for the UAB Blazers?
Well, we are in a really good spot as it relates to revenue sharing payments and that kind of thing. We've got great advice from outside counsel who works with a lot of other teams, and we're fortunate to be in Birmingham and have a few people like that who are just very well versed, very well connected to the NCAA, and give us tremendous advice on how to do things. So we're in a good spot there. You never need there's never enough money, right? I don't care. As long as I've been in this industry, it's just a matter of what the money would be for. Right now, in the past, it's not enough money to, whether maybe it's to pay coaches, or it's not enough. We don't have enough money to build the thing we want to build, or now we don't have enough money to compensate players to get the very best talent in the world. But so we have to find a lot of diamonds in the rough, and that's okay. So it's just a new thing to have to compete with, and that's everybody, not just UAB. And that's the bright spot in it, is that everybody's got this issue. Everybody's got to deal with this same challenge, and but we're in a good place, and I'm proud of the work that's been done to this point, and our coaches have really embraced it and figuring it out too. And it's just totally new, like I said, for everybody to have to deal with, but UAB's doing great there. So that's probably the biggest thing between that and just general, getting ready for the season, is what we're trying to do. And, like Andy Kennedy has 12 new basketball players. And so just this new kind of way we have to approach every single season is it's just new and different. It's the best way I can describe it.
Yeah.
But we're fine, you know. And again, we're not alone in that. That's the comfort, is we're not alone.
Yeah, I reached out to Coach Dilfer a couple days ago. I'm trying to get him on our television show on ABC 3340. So if you see him on in the hallways or whatever, tell him I
Yeah,
reached
I'll
out
see
to
him
him. And
Saturday for
I
sure.
know, yeah, tell him to give me a call. I'm going to try to get him on next Thursday for us, so we
Okay.
can get him on before the football season. I'll hit him up
Yeah.
again. So this is his third season. Obviously, not exactly what we wanted in the first two seasons. What have you seen in year three that is different about him that you did not see in years 1 and 2 that make you think it's going to be success this year?
Yeah, well, you know, offensively, his first 2 years, we have averaged 421 yards a game. That's gaudy. I mean, by most standards, that is really a lot. And in fact, we set a school record for most yards per game his first year. So we're moving the football, we're scoring a lot of points. We just couldn't stop people, you know. And if we could just slow them down, not even stop them, just slow them down a little bit, we'd probably be sitting at back-to-back bowl
And we
seasons.
knew
So
that. We knew that, by the way, going in. I remember you saying we had Trent on, and he's just like, "We're going to be slinging the football, man. I mean,
yeah,
we're going to be getting up and down the field." So that we kind of knew that going in, didn't we?
yeah, that's
Yeah.
right. And so, you know, now he's made a complete wholesale change on the defensive side with the staff. Their experience level is vastly different than what we had before. People, that's not to throw any shade on those guys. They're all great guys and great coaches. Sometimes these, you know, you got to have the right mix at the right time, and we think we have that. A lot of them had already worked together before at another stop, so there's good continuity on day one with several of them. And but again, their maturity and their experience level in the job is terrific. And we actually have two defensive coordinators, the guy we hired as our DC and the guy we hired as our cornerbacks coach. He was the defense coordinator at Alabama State. So
Mhm.
we've just got a lot of really experienced coaches on the defensive side, and we're hoping that makes all the difference.
X's and O's, and now we do the Jimmies and Joes. So we'll
That's
see what
right.
happens. I'm just going to throw out a couple things. Anything else that just kind of pop into your head?
Well, you know, tickets are on sale, man. Listen, we're going to play Alabama State, who I just mentioned, game one, August 28th. And we're expecting a great crowd and hope that our Blazer fans will be there. You know, I can appreciate that some people think that if they're disappointed with how Coach Dilfer has done or whatever, but if you love the Blazers, you got to support them. I mean,
No, there's
if
no
you
doubt.
want them to lose, they'll lose if you don't support them, and that's just not good. And
For
that's
some
not
reason,
good
I'm
for
more
anybody.
excited. For some
So
reason, I'm more excited about this season than I was 2 seasons ago. I don't know. Maybe that's
I
because
am.
maybe it's because I got to know him a little bit. I'm not blowing smoke
Yeah.
here. I for some reason, I think he's found himself, good things happen to good people, and I think he's a good guy, and I do think that he's got everything it takes to be a coach at some level. We know that already at
Yeah.
a high school level, and it's not that far perched to see
Yeah.
him do something in college. So I don't have any doubt that he's going to do really well, and I want to be that program. I want to be that team that gives him the shot that everyone goes, wow, Trent Dilfer was a pretty good coach, and I remember when he got his
Yeah.
start at UAB. So I want to
Yeah.
see that happen.
Yeah. I think, listen, Trent's a great coach, and I'm with you. I think he'll do well.
Speaking of coaches, something that kind of popped in my head, coaches in college football season. We got this guy who has won 6 Super Bowls now coaching the North Carolina Tar Heels. You'd have to say that this is probably one of the strangest situations that we've ever gone into play. I don't think anyone thought Bill Belichick was going to be a head coach at the college level. We thought he'd just hang it out and be done with it. It seems like he's got himself a significant other that he seems to be happy with. And also, I just since we're going to go ahead and talk about coaches, I think of a Dabo Sweeney. The guy's won a couple of national titles. Everyone's like boohooing him last year, saying, listen, he's not moving along with the times. He's not doing enough in the NIL. He's not doing enough with the transfer portal. And now all of a sudden, he is by a lot of persons' predictions shot on to get a win, a national title, and he's
Yeah.
got a quarterback that could perhaps win a Heisman Trophy.
Sure.
Talk about that, and then I also, just since we're talking coaches, what's going to happen with Deion Sanders? Shador's gone. Travis Hunter's now gone.
Yeah.
Everyone talked about perhaps him going to the Dallas Cowboys. That didn't happen. I don't know how even close
Right.
that was to happening. But now all of a
Right.
sudden you're talking about year 3 for Deion Sanders, and the shine's kind of off that program a little bit of Colorado. But just talk about the coaches, and if you got any other coaches you want to throw in there, knock yourself out.
Yeah, well, Coach Belichick could start there. I mean, this is one of the all-time great football coaches ever for in the game at any level. So it's not about football; it's about teaching and surrounding himself with people that can recruit and evaluate 18-year-olds. One of the things that as an NFL coach, yeah, it's not like they don't understand how to evaluate, but it's not their primary job. Now you're taking, you're looking at 17-year-old, 16, 17-year-old kids trying to determine, are they capable of playing at the very highest level? Like, are they capable of playing in the NFL? Because even though you're, yes, recruiting them for college, they're trying to find a bunch of future NFL stars. So sometimes that doesn't reveal itself at age 16 and 17 the way that it does at age 22 and 23, when they've already been very well proven in the college game. So, assuming that he's surrounded himself well there, if they've got good revenue sharing support to compensate the kids, that changes everybody's ability to recruit if they have money now, because North Carolina has always been a kind of a tough place to recruit to. North Carolina State, Duke, Wake Forest, because they're all right there together.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, Wake Forest is about an hour from Chapel Hill, which is 5 minutes from Duke, which is 20 minutes from NC State. I mean, it's all that close. Yeah. And then East Carolina is only, 2 hours from NC State. And then, don't forget Appalachian State going the other way, and Charlotte now. And then, the University of Virginia and Virginia Tech are only a couple of hours north. Clemson and South Carolina are only a couple of hours south. So you've got a ton of programs between Virginia to South Carolina, which doesn't even consider that the University of Georgia is only like 80 miles from Clemson.
Yeah.
So it's all stacked in there really tight. And, Tennessee has always tried to come over and get kids from North Carolina. If you could get their, top 2 or 3, you're doing really well. So now that compensation has entered the game, that may be enough to get North Carolina ahead of some of those others if they can do that, not to mention the prestige of playing for Bill Belichick. Now, Dabo, who you asked about, I just mentioned Clemson. Dabo's philosophy has been very interesting. He has not embraced the transfer portal. What he's tried to do, and I really respect it, is kind of stay the old-fashioned way, meaning build a team culture from the ground up. We're going to recruit high school kids, and we're going to make them love it here. They're going to love Clemson. They're going to love the staff. They're going to love playing for us. And yeah, they're going to have to pay them. They're not going to just be able to keep everybody. But, so far that's working, Tony. And he said, well, his last year or so have just been kind of, for Dabo, they've been down because he had been, at the very, very top for a few years. But I think I'm with you. I think this could be a year where he really has a big bounce back, because there is something to be said, and it's not insignificant. Team culture is real. A bond amongst your teammates, where you've been through hard things together, winter workouts, summer workouts. You've grown together. You have each other's back. You know each other's strengths and weaknesses, and that's what he's got. And most of us don't have that because we're having.
I absolutely love it. I absolutely love it. I mean, I'm 59 years old. Maybe it's the purist in me. I love players that stay on teams in major sports for long periods of time. I love the Barry Larkins of the world. I love guys that stay and are loyal to their teams, because loyalty's out the window. I love coaches who develop players. I like to get to know a player for 2 or 3 or 4 years. And it helps me as a fan to know who these people are. And now players are just jumping around left to right. It's hard to keep track of who's your quarterback and where. And I absolutely love it. I love his heart. I love what he stands for. And I think and again, my son goes to Clemson. I know that you've gotten certain friends of yours that are in around that program as well. And I think he's doing the right thing. And I'd love to see him stick it back in the face of a lot of people who, go into transfer portals and getting 20, 30 guys every year.
Yeah, I'm with you. I mean, I hope he'll be successful because I think it's important for college sports.
And I also
And then
understand too. Hey, by the way, I also understand. You listen. The transfer portal is here. It's. We used to have
that's right.
JUCO. We did JUCO players. Remember? I mean, that's what you used to go out and
Sure.
get JUCO players.
Still do.
And
Yeah.
yeah, and you come in the first couple of years and you fill in those little spots and hopefully you'd have a decent team. And next thing you know, you had time to develop guys into 3 or 4 year guys, and now you have the transfer portal. So I get it. I mean,
Yeah.
however you get it done, that's great. I'm just telling you from a fan standpoint, I'd love to see like a Cade Klubnik who's there for his 4th year, the quarterback, and you root for a guy like that. So yeah,
Yeah, I agree with you, and I think he's got a lot of talent. So they're certainly on the rise.
is Deion Sanders a good coach?
I think he is, yeah, and I think that he's really smart. I've always heard really good things about him. Um, I have no doubt that he'll continue to attract talent, uh, and and do well. So look, man, I don't know if anybody. I don't wish for anybody to not succeed. I hope he will be successful. This is all. It's hard, man. It's competitive, and you got a lot of good coaches that are all working hard to try to win. And the number one player in the country can only go to one place, and so he had that in Travis Hunter. And if you can convince Travis Hunter to go to Jackson State, and when he could have played absolutely anywhere, you're doing something. You're doing a heck of a sales job. And
Yeah.
so, yeah, I don't doubt. And look, it was Shador being the offensive player of the year in the Big 12, and Travis being the player of the year in the Big 12, both drafted. I know Shador didn't go as high as they thought he would, but okay, but he still got drafted. I mean, if you're a quarterback, a receiver, or a defensive back, I don't know who else would you like to play for. I mean, Dion is as knowledgeable a coach at receiver and DB as anybody, and he's dynamic himself, and I think he shoots people straight. It's funny as I'm sitting here saying that, it makes me feel like I'm talking about Trent Dilfer. I mean, they
Yeah.
have a lot of similar qualities in a football sense, in terms of their success. I know Dion's a Hall of Famer and Trent is not that, but I mean, both played for a long time, and I think players respect that. Recruits, I mean, and and because they know what they're talking about.
Yeah.
And I watch Trent; he talks very matter of fact to guys. He's very real with them, um, and I think people prefer that. I think they respect it.
We only got a couple more minutes left, and we can continue this talk next week because we do have actually a couple weeks here before college football season kicks off. I wanted to get into Cinderellas, and I just love the word Cinderellas in and around college football because we've never been able to
Yeah,
use that terminology before. We had SMU, we had Indiana
right.
last year. This year, a lot of people are saying perhaps Tulane. I know Tim Brando, we had him on our show last week. He's picking Tulane to make the playoffs because the way the playoffs scenario sets up, and we're obviously thinking it's
Huh,
going to be expanded to 16 next year. Perhaps you'll have another Cinderella.
maybe.
Yeah, I mean, Cinderellas are different in college basketball because you do have teams that are 15 and 30 that end up making it in because they win their conference championships.
Right,
Like that happens, and that's a true Cinderella. If you're good enough to make it
right.
into the Sweet 16, if you will, in college football, you're not really a Cinderella. You're a good football team, and chances are you've probably
Yeah.
gone undefeated. But how does that make you feel as a UAB Blazer fan and as an athletic director, knowing that you if you win your games, you will have a shot?
Oh yeah, I mean look, all anybody wants is an opportunity.
Yeah.
Give us a chance, man. Give us a chance to compete. That's what bothers me about all this automatic qualifier conversation and talk around the NCAA tournament expansion. It's not to let people like us in. It's to let the 11th place team in a Power Four conference in. Nobody wants to see that. They didn't have a good year.
Yeah.
But when you're the number two, you're the second place or third place team in the American, and you can't get in the NCAA tournament, that's a problem. And because these are good teams who maybe they have a bad night shooting in the championship and now they're not in and they've had a great year, or the opposite,
Yeah.
and they have a great night shooting and they're about to make a run because they've gotten hot. They finally figured it out and got it together. I just don't understand, and nobody's interested in watching the 11th place team from a P4 play. They're just not. Those teams did not have a good year, and they're ready to call it a season and look to the following year. And so the Cinderella stories are the most fun, I think, in college sports. And that's not like that I'm always pulling for the underdog, but maybe I am. But yeah, that's all we want is an opportunity to compete, man. Give us a chance.
All right. FanFest coming up this weekend. I'll see you down there. Safe travels. We'll catch up next week. Man, we're right on the cusp of it, brother. It's right
We're
here.
on it.
Yep. It's gonna be fantastic. Be careful, and we'll talk to you next week.
Thanks, Tony. See you, pal.
This has been a special presentation of Tony Curry Radio.